Miracy.
Hi, this is Claire Puig, and this is Making It. I run two online businesses. One is known as Six Figure Newsletters, and the other Adventurous Life International. To me, making it means my making it flavor is all about travel. I remember this dream that I had when I was in Italy. This mentor was saying to me, do you believe that a moment can make a lifetime? And there was all sorts of, like flying cars and stuff because it was a dream, right? And I remember just pondering that in the dream and woke up and said, you know what? I do. I really do believe that a moment can make a lifetime. When I was in my teens, I really loved hearing my grandparents talk about their latest trip. They were big travelers. I wouldn't say my own family was necessarily, but my grandparents were. And so I always remember them talking about Prague. I've now been to Prague 3 times. I remember the very first time going was just like, finally, I'm here. I've been thinking about this since I was a teenager. I had my first job, I think, when I was 16. I was waiting tables. And 5 days into that job, my grandparents asked if I wanted to go with them to Hawaii to some like the International Lions Club convention or something. And I quit my job to go travel with them because that's how interested I was in travel. So I've had for a number of years a bucket list of places that I want to go, and some are really high up on that list. And in the last, I want to say 4 years, I've hit probably 15 of those bucket list locations. And I remember the feeling of being on the canals in Bruges, Belgium, of seeing the northern lights in Norway during the dead of winter, of walking around Amsterdam, and of seeing the fireworks at New Year's Eve in Sydney, Australia. I mean, just like all of these places. And every time I would get there, I just feel chills like, oh my God, I am living my dream. And it's just such an incredible feeling. So when it came time to create something, I wanted to be able to do it from anywhere. And initially, it was because I had a young child. I started my first business when he was 2. And so I wanted to be able to stay at home when I wanted to go places with him when I wanted to. So it was really important to me, that kind of location independence from that standpoint. And then as soon as he got old enough to really dig into travel with me, then we traveled together to a lot of different places. So I always knew that I needed to have a business that allowed me that freedom to be where I wanted to be when I wanted to be there. I built a team bit by bit. First was an assistant. I don't remember the order of things, but eventually I built up to a team of about 6 or 7 people. And then at some point, I actually decided to go like on a sabbatical that ended up being about a 2-year sabbatical. So I contracted my team. It was really just supposed to be 6 months at first, and then it turned into a year, and then the year turned into 2. And I was starting to get worried that I would never get back. But that's when I started the Adventurous Life travel business, and that kind of juiced me in all ways. I'd have to say that let me see if I can articulate it succinctly. It's about acceptance. Like I have, as I think most people do, critical voices that show themselves up from time to time. There's a quality of flow, for lack of a better word, that comes when you are just accepting of, like, yeah, I make mistakes, big deal. We hold ourselves to such high standards and often don't let ourselves off the hook when we really should be. So just that kind of self-love and humility and acceptance without guilt, without shame, without any of those toxic kinds of things, but just like, okay, next, moving right along. It's just, I've worked with somebody on those matters, those types of matters, for years. And I feel in such a different place now than when I first started working with that person, because I don't have a lot of that drastic kind of fear and shame and feelings of, not being good enough. Like I really have moved past a lot of that. Thank God. There are worst pieces of advice strewn all the time, all over the place. And, it's that you should do this and you should do that. And if you don't, then you're not going to make it. And so any of those pieces of advice that I listen to thinking, oh, I got to do that now. Oh, I got to do that now. Oh, I got to do that now. Like that, I know now that's just malarkey. I mean, I've come far enough that I know that I can reject what doesn't feel right for me. I can also stretch. It's not like I'm saying don't stretch and don't try new things, but eventually you learn what works for you and what doesn't, what really lights you up, what doesn't. And when we focus on the pieces that we resonate with and that do light us up, then that's just going to be so much better. I don't do 5-year plans. I have a friend that always asks me that, like, where do you want to be in 5 years? Because she's my friend, I always try to oblige, but I just don't like it. I really am much more of a 1 to 2 years kind of a person. I couldn't imagine 5 years ago what I'd be doing now, and 5 years before that, what I was doing then. Like I just think that life shifts and changes so much that, it's all going to change anyway. The first tip is that you need to really know how you define making it, and to kind of clear out the trash and the clutter of what that's supposed to look like, and really just get clear on what that looks like for you. Whether it's building a huge empire and having a magnificent, enormous team, or whether that's just something really simple so that you can, spend 2 months out of the year with grandkids. Whatever that is, just know what that is. And then the next big step really is just like find the people that resonate with what it is that you have to offer and be in touch with them on a regular basis, serving up valuable material that's helpful to their lives. So this is Linda Claire Puig, and thanks for listening. And you can find me at sixfigurenewsletters.com. That's with the numeral 6. Or you can reach me at linda@clairecommunications.com, CLAIRE.
Making It is a Miracy FM original production. This episode of Making It was assembled by Jeff Govertson. Cynthia Lamb produced the episode, Danny Bremont is our associate producer, and Danny Eny, that's me, is our executive producer. If you liked this episode, you might want to check out Just Between Coaches, the podcast that explores the really tough issues that coaches face every day. So you don't miss the great episodes that are coming up on Making It, go ahead and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening right now. And if you like the show, please leave us a starred review. It's the best way to help us get these ideas to more people. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.